Hello there, and welcome to my corner of YouTube. I hope you're all doing well in whatever season you happen to be in and whatever time zone you happen to be in. As for me, now I'm starting to sound like scammers. As for me, that illness is still dealing a heavy blow, and it sucks. But you know what? The one thing that I hate the most, other than colds, are scammers. Yes, I hate scammers. I don't hate people, but I don't view scammers as people. I've explained why in the past. If you want to question me on it, absolutely go for it. But anyway, I haven't been around because of being sick. And then I thought about this one scammer that I wasn't going to share with y'all. I had him just a couple months ago this summer, actually, the end of August. And there's a big trigger warning on all of this. There is talk about slavery, there's talk about misogyny, there's talk about scammers scamming vulnerable people, which is technically always a thing. There's talk about anti-LGBTQ. There's a lot of sexual talk close to the end, as this man was trying to incite. I think at the end he was so frustrated with me that he was trying to get me to say something so that way he could report me, so Facebook would ban me. Instead, I got him reported. Now, normally what I do is I take screenshots and I get everything together nice and neatly, but this guy, I didn't do it. So this guy, I will be reading straight from my Facebook Messenger. Some things will say the message is hidden. That's because I had reported him. I can't remember if I blocked him. I think I blocked him too. Anyway, this guy is a stolen valor scammer, which is one of the top scummiest scums of all. Anybody that steals military ID, FBI, any kind of law enforcement, political and or lawyers, like those kinds of people in power, those are the top scummiest scum of all the scum that belong in the cesspool of scammers. And let me tell you, this guy hits all of the wrong notes. So if you're ready for a sour song with a atrocious scammer and you aren't bothered by the trigger warnings because there are many, then without further ado, I give you my scammer. It's going to be a long one, y'all, but I'm not doing a part two. I'm doing this all in one shot because I want to delete this guy as soon as I'm done with him. This is a user that claimed to be John D. Kane, who is a real military fella. I did do my research on him. I don't believe I took snapshots of him or kept them because I wasn't planning on putting this out there, but you can look up the guy. You can also know that this fella is actually more professional and more successful, we'll say. We'll use success and professional in loose terms, but as far as the scammers go, he's more successful in scamming. He actually used my name a couple times, and if you have seen or been involved in any run-of-the-mill romance and or celebrity scams, they don't use your name. They don't care what your name is. They don't remember what your name is half the time. Usually it's the young kids that are doing these scams. And so they use babe and whatever. It helps them so that way they don't view you as a person. Of course, you are obligated to view them as a person. And B, that way they can't accidentally get your name wrong by saying babe. It's just laziness. So, this guy tells me that I've got a good name. And he asks me where I'm from. And I say Queensland. And that was supposed to be, how long did you study at the American Military University? AMU. And there's going to be a lot of cross-posting here. And instead of me saying we cross-posted and pointing it all out, I'm just going to read it because there's a lot of cross-posting. Nice. Yeah, I did. And you? I'm Jen John, by the way. Yes, I asked how long, love, in regards to the university. Yes, I see the name on the profile is John. Nice to talk with you, mate. Only just woke up, as it's 6 a.m. for me. I figured it should be around dinner time for you, unless you eat early, like at 5 p.m., because this guy, I can't remember, I think he said Pennsylvania or something. Nice meeting you too. Where are you from? And then he could add a question mark. I said, you forgot already? LOL, dinner? Where do you think I am currently? Oh, sorry. So sorry, Queensland. When he realized. I could hardly know. I'm guessing Midwest. For most you Americans, it's after 5 p.m. So how long was it that you studied at the AMU? I asked again. Yeah, that's true. Just quick maths, not a guesswork. Well, I'm currently deployed out here in Yemen, UAE, on a peacekeeping mission. I see. Well, I hope your day was well. I'm so sorry I woke you up, though. Guess our time zones don't align. It's almost 1:30 a.m. for you. Please do go and get some good rest. And then he did a copy and paste about the real fellow. I was commissioned in 1990 through the ROTC program at the Virginia Military Institute. And I have a Master's of Arts in Warfare from American Military University. Again, not reading what I wrote when I asked how long he was at the AMU. And plus, also, what person in the world talks about themselves the way he just did? Like, it's clear. He Googled it, he copied it, he pasted it, he just tweaked a little bit to talk about himself, saying in the first person as opposed to not, it's kind of obvious, at least to me. I suppose if you hadn't seen this kind of format before, maybe it wouldn't be obvious, but to me it is. It's only after 6 a.m. here, so I'm going to grab a cuppa and get on with my day, I told him. Not bad, we just took my team out on a patrol. Right, but that's not the AMU, though, I said, calling him out on his copy and paste. Patrol for peace at 1 a.m.? No, you didn't wake me up. I do make time for social media. I do make out time for social media. So a random person pings ya at the dead of night and you just answer? That's different. But I mean, to each their own, I said. Now, maybe it's just the age difference between him and I. He's in his 20s. I'm in my whatevers. But he didn't seem to know what ping means. Maybe the young guys out there don't know. Or maybe it's about, what country he really is from, which is definitely Nigeria. You'll find out later. Not pinpointed, but you'll find out later. Nah, I meant yesterday. When you asked about my day, I was talking about yesterday. That's, well, not what was said, but okay, I'll let that go, I told him. Random? Are you going to kill or hurt me through your text? He asks. That's why I'm saying I don't think he understands what ping means. Again, could be from his country or his age. I don't know where the disconnect was. I'm not really hip. It's hip to be a square. Yay, Huey Lewis. Okay, he concedes about me letting it go. What? That makes no sense about me gonna hurt him. And you know it, you silly man. Okay, how long do you do patrol for during a shift? I hope it's not too long, because that would get tiring. At least you don't need to be armed. I would figure, seeing how you're getting to keep peace, not war. I think I meant to say that you're trying to keep peace, not war. Because getting makes as much sense as half the crap the scammers say. And here's where our scammer realizes that I'm not going to be an easy scam victim. I'm not going to be easy money. I'm not going to give him what he wants, the way he wants it, when he wants it. Why are you just coming at me like you're looking for some information or just looking for something else? I'm having the feeling that we are not going to end up as good friends. So, whatever, I don't care. Like, be my friend, don't be my friend. I no skin off my nose, but that's supposed to make me go, oh, I'm sorry, and kowtow to him and kiss his boots and or his butt. You know, like, not going to happen, buddy. I'm not looking for information. Why are you defensive? Just making conversation, I told him. Of course we are armed, he misinforms me. We always need to be armed. This is Yemen. The terrorists out here are very dangerous, so we don't take chances. Well, that's contrary to what I know to be true. That's okay, though. Let's not talk about your job. We can talk about more pleasant things. Oh, really? I would love to know what you know to be true. He was quite offended. No matter, it's better to stay away from talk of your military job. Your job is not who you are, it's what you do. We can talk about ourselves, you know. Oh, what we like and all of that. Yeah, we can. Conversations with strangers can often lead to new perspectives and insights, allowing us to learn more about ourselves, because them scammers always like to know more about ourselves. Let us bravely start a dialogue and find resonance in sharing. Right. But the way you claim to know more about my job more than me sounds strange. Like you're trying find out something about me or prove me wrong about something. What's on your mind? What an odd assumption, I said. I just have fam in the military is all. But stand down. We can have a ceasefire on military talk. Don't need you feeling like I'm toe-stepping. What's on my mind? I was only confused by your words and tried to get clarification. Sorry, I hit send fast, LOL. Anyway, enough of that. Odd assumption. Well, you would have thought the same if you were to be in my shoes, but no P. Funny enough, I don't even know what you do for a living. This guy's getting angry and annoyed AF. What got you confused, actually? It's cool, he says in regards to me hitting his send too fast. No, I wouldn't have ever thought of the same way. I'm easygoing person and not suspicious. I work in Honolulu and I'm a curator. LOL, you seem very suspicious and interrogating, he says. What and where is Honolulu, if I may ask? Now, this is the first and only scammer that's actually ever asked me about Honolulu. I'm assuming that the name came about the Peter, Paul, and Mary song, Puff the Magic Dragon, because He lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. And I love that song, and I would sing it right now, but my throat still really hurts, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, he's the only one that asked me what Honolulu was. Yeah, Honolulu is a shop set up for the legal distribution of THC, CBD, CDB, I think it's CBD, and other items associated with it. Basically, it's a website that they have in Australia that helps basically uh, de-demonize marijuana and its products and give you proper information about it. Now I get why you're so questioning. Just went through your timeline. Almost all of your posts are about scammers. Funny. I'm not the type to read people's posts, but your curiosity made me do so. Now I get it. So tell me, have you ever been scammed? And then I corrected myself about Honolulu. Said, sorry, distributing information on the subject. You're too funny. Those scammer things were about the websites that advertise getting money back after someone has scammed, recovery scams. All I did was make sure that people know that once you've lost your money, you can't get it back. You can't always get it back. So those recovery websites are scams. If you read what I was saying, yeah, I did, he says. Now, here's the thing. In some countries on Facebook, you can lock your profile so nobody can see it unless they're your friends. And it actually says, so-and-so locked their profile. In my country, you can't do that. Anybody can effing see your profile if they want. I had to go painstakingly through and set everything to private. Everything to, well, not private, but everything to only people that are my friends. Only people that are my friends. The one thing I didn't know is that if you go onto these scam websites like the lawyer, like I found a bunch of lawyer websites. In fact, I did a short with a bad AI scammer trying to show you how he's going to recover your funds. It didn't get reviewed much. It was very poor. It's I think it was my first short. Anyway, when I saw these lawyer recovery scam ones, I started to do reviews on them. Because it was set up as a business page, and business pages, you can review and or recommend whatever this person or group of people are selling. And so I did a whole bunch of those reviews, not knowing that they were not just going to stay on the business site. Like the business people, they can't get rid of those reviews. They're there. They are forever there. So everyone can see them. But then they are also forever on your profile too. So this scammer couldn't see me, couldn't see any of my pictures, couldn't see any of my posts, but he could see my reviews. So that's how he saw that. So he went into the tactic of, oh, okay, this person's been scammed. Let me ask them about how they've been scammed, and so they can find ways to better scam me, so they can find out what other scammers are doing and all that jazz. It is another tactic. It's another way to get information, and it often sadly works. From our conversation, I can tell you're a very smart person, and I love that. So he's trying to butter me up. Thanks for that, I said. Because you make such posts about scammers, you must have at least a few knowledge about it. Probably you have encountered scammers, I'm guessing. No shit, Sherlock. I'm talking to one now, ya mook. Nope, just my disabled aunt was. Thankfully, they didn't get much off her. Excuse me. She clicked on a Facebook thread that said she could get some celebrity t-shirts. When she paid for it, she never got it. The scum took advantage of a dear lady that had fetal alcohol syndrome. It was sick. Oh, too bad. Now I see why you're so questioning. I understand your pain, my friend. I have never been scammed before, but I do know a lot about scammers. Of course you do. You are one. And how they work. Well, it's not nice interrogating somebody. Now he's like turning it on me. It's my fault, and I'm the bad person. Interrogating someone and claiming to know more, someone about their job and claiming to know more about them just because you have a fam in the service. I'm in a good mood. Else would have stopped texting because you were beginning to get on my nerves. I was confused for a moment. Literally, if you know the military very well, you would know that we do have a strict policy against phones and social media. I just make out time for myself because I'm not an E8 sergeant or small ranked person. Those are lies. Those are tweaked falsivities. As real as the word falsivity is. Yeah, I have never been scammed, but after they attacked her, I made sure to educate myself. Anyone worth their salt would. Had I been interrogating, you would have known, lol. I was trained by the best. No, sir, I was simply asking clarification type questions. Also, I never claimed to know more than you. You assumed that's what I was doing. I can see you are uncomfortable talking to me. I don't mean to be intimidating, yet often I know I am. I was really done with this guy. I was hoping we were done because he is an arrogant SOB. Yes, I know things, but that's okay. I offered to not talk about it as it seemed to be a sore spot for you. Let's just move on, yeah? Okay, it's safe to say I assumed. Point of correction. You are not intimidating. Not to me. Maybe others find you intimidating. No one is intimidating to me. Okay, I guess. So, how are things going now for you? Sore spot? LOL. Leave it that way. I love the face that you are knowledgeable. It's cool. We love smart people over here. LOL. Could help with tactic ideas, and that's just what it is. So, when the seasoned scammers run into people that are somewhat smarter than they had anticipated, they do like it because it's a bit. They love and hate it. They like it because it's a challenge that they are intent and hell-bent to overcome, so that way they have bragging rights. They hate it because that means they also have to work a little bit harder, but again, the hard work pays off. They got scammer rights, bragging rights. Plus, the smarter you are, if you are a well-seasoned scammer, the smarter your victim is, if you are a seasoned scammer, you are more likely to be able to get more information on how to better your scams in the future. What worked for somebody that isn't working for you and vice versa. It's a way of swapping notes. I said, for sure. Don't even know if they are good or bad. Let's just say in between about how things are going. Keep it up, he threatens me about the for sure bit. Yeah, for times like that, I often say fair to middling instead of, somewhere in between. What about you? How are things working out for you, he asks. Right as rain, I'd say. Can't complain anyway, lol. No one would listen even if I did, roll on the floor laughing. LOL, I would. I just can't seem to find my sleep right now. I'm guessing it's because I woke up at the wrong hour, LOL. Facts are he's in Nigeria and he didn't wake up at 1:30 in the morning. He was just tired because he just needed to go to bed because he'd had a full day of scamming. But you notice how this is all one day so far. This is still August 25th. Yeah, waking up at the wrong hour can make it so one loses sleep. I hate it when I wake up to use the dunny an hour before my alarm goes off. I can't get back to sleep after that. Yeah, true, he says, about waking up at the wrong hour. LOL, really? I think I can go back to bed if I want to. But my schedule, I don't. Sorry, but by my schedule, I don't think today would be a stressful day for me. So tell me, are you married? Sorry for asking. I'm divorced, actually. And notice how he took a lot longer to get to the married part. Like he right away wanted to know where I'm from, complimented me on my nice name, and all that. But he took a while before he asked me about being married. He's definitely not like those romance and whatchamacallit, celebrity scammers that just rapid fire off all the questions. This guy's in it for the long haul. He wants to get something out of it. He doesn't want to spook the prey, as it were. Doesn't want to startle me. And I never asked him if he was divorced. I don't fucking care. The way he talks about divorce in a little bit, I can't tell if he himself, the scammer, actually did get a divorce or had a personal tie with divorce, maybe his parents. But he did get a little bit passionate about it, so maybe there is something about divorce in his actual life. Sorry, y'all. It's hard to say. I'll never know. But he clearly wants to go to bed. But now he's like, oh, wait, no. I'm going to see if I can hang on a little bit longer because I don't have a stressful day. I'm just with you, babe. It's just you and me, babe, kind of thing. LOL, nah, I've tried in going back to bed. My brain just knowing that the alarm's going off in an hour won't let me relax. So I just end up getting the day started. Oh my goodness, sorry y'all. LOL, too bad, he says. It's okay. Thankfully, it's not an everyday occurrence. I just figure on days like that, I was meant to be up early. It's those times the universe really speaks. It's supposed to be speaks to ya, but I said yeah. Not like he cares. He's probably rolling his eyes. True. I think it's a coincidence we even got to text online. I think he meant to say not a coincidence because, or maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about. Or will I say destiny? I don't really have time for social media or any other devices at all. I only reach out to them when I want to communicate with my son because sometimes I get so busy. You know how my job could get, right? I asked you a question earlier. I'm assuming you don't want to talk about it. So instead of him constantly pointing to my question and saying question mark, he's like, oh, I guess you don't want it's a tender subject about marriage. Sorry, I must have missed it. Can I ask you to repeat, please? We just got so caught up in what we each know about the military that your question must have been buried in the chat somewhere. He brings me back to the are you married and that he is divorced. Nope, I didn't see it. So sorry. Nah, not married. Okay, noted. And let me tell you, when he said it was noted, it was. Many scammers do take note of everything you say and do. They take note and copies of your pictures. They take note and copies of any information you give them, because they then are able to sell this information to other scammers. Especially, it doesn't matter if this guy is able to scam me or not. He'll sell the information because he can sell it to them so they can scam me more if he got money. They can see if they can get a crack at me. You know what I mean? Like, they sell a lot of information about you. So whatever you tell them, whatever you give them, know it's out there permanently. And if you're going to scam bait, it is my opinion that it's probably best to make sure you stick to the story that you give them. So that way they don't get all loop-de-loo and come back at you trying to, you know what? Actually, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. I just like to keep my story straight. That's just me. I did, in some of my very early scam baiting, I did try out different tactics, but I eventually got to the point where I'm just going to stick with this. Hopefully your divorce wasn't too painful, I said. So tell me, are you political? What's your take on politics? Well, every country has different structures for government and politics, really, I said. Damn, if you ask me, I think all divorce are painful. Well, mine was. The court were unfair. I was forced on a settlement with my ex, poor baby. So I guess the real question is, whose politics and government do you mean? I asked. Yeah, true, he says about the different politics. My response about about divorces. Some are amicable. Just two people realizing they can no longer be together. Be as one, sorry. It's sad you had the painful kind. Just really want to know if you are a fan of politics. That's all, because in military we're not allowed to pick sides on political matters. So let's just say that's 110% true that they're not allowed in the military. Why bother asking? Does it matter? No. Well, that's right, because he's just trying to learn about ourselves. I find that hard to believe anyone is a true fan of politics. Yet, even from birth, there's a hierarchy. Politics in grade school and work. Then you get to the politics that adults face in society. It's all rather messy, if you ask me. Yeah, I sure did. About the painful kind of divorce. But it's not the end of the world for me. I know I'm going to find a new partner, this time a genuine one. We're going to build a home together. One of the reasons why my ex stated she left me was because I was too busy with work. She said I do spend limited time with her. Well, that's just some lame excuses, because she knew how my job could get even before we got married. She just wanted something else, I guess. And she got it. It's not actually a big deal for me, says the man who's making a big deal out of everything and slowly showing us how misogynistic he is. LOL. You could say that 1,000 times, but I guess it's supposed to be but if you ask me, I think there's always politics in almost everything, which is basically what I was saying. There's politics in everything. Like, come on, guy, get a grip. Sounds like she loved you, but was not ready for that kind of life as she thought. Kind of mature of her to own up to her feelings rather than to stay stuck in something that made her miserable. There's literally politics in everything, as I said. Everything is mired in a hierarchy of some kind. Yeah, he agrees. I mean, even marriage is political, and to be frank, can be linked to slavery. The origins sure were. Of course, not all marriage is bad for everyone, just for most. And now he gets really triggered and upset about me suggesting that his ex wife was immature and all that. LOL, that's your POV, actually. It's cool. Well, I think things were meant to be this way, because if she really loved me, she wouldn't have left. She wouldn't have requested for a divorce settlement. Sometimes I see her as a gold digger now. It's so amazing how well people pretend, says the pretender. Well, I'm over that now. It's in the past. I've moved on. I'm working towards a better future and getting back to my stable finance. I'm not that old. I know I'm going to get married again, and this time it'll be forever. I have nothing against my ex-wife. I still wish her the best of lucks wherever she is. He says he has nothing against her, but I don't know, there was a bit of a scathing review about being a gold digger and all that such, and about questioning whether or not she really ever loved him. It's indeed, it's indeed, it takes all kinds to pretend to be what they are not. Glad to know you're over it. I meant to say breaks of the heart can be the hardest to recover from, but obviously, as you see, it came out in scammer English saying, glad to know you're over it. Breaks off the heart can be hard to recover from. But because he's a scammer, he could read between the lines and he kept moving on. Like I know they wish we would when we pick apart their sentence structure. Of course, I'm not pretending to be Nigerian. He's a Nigerian pretending to be a white military man. Well, for me, I don't think marriage is political or slavery. On the other hand, it is if you come to think of it, or if you are with the wrong people. But there's one thing I believe is true love. It doesn't hide, it doesn't lie, it knows no boundaries, nor or distance, or intentions of politics. I believe in love, my dear friend, and if there's love, please let it be genuine. Of course, he added in the distance because he wanted to somehow turn this into a romance scam because he's far, far away from me. And he indeeded my talk about it takes all kinds to pretend to be what they are not. And he also agreed, this is him pushing through my poorly scammer thing about heartbreaks. Yes, it can be, but I think I'm over it now. So tell me, have you ever been in any bad or complicated relationships? And of course, this is going to be another tactic that he intends to use, regardless of what I say, to be able to try to scam me more, to know where my weaknesses most likely are. See, what I was saying was how marriage came about in the first place. They were political and very much slave-like. The main goal of marriage was to serve as an alliance between families. Sorry, I had to pause. I had a huge coughing fit. So I think I left off with the main goal of marriage was to serve as an alliance between families. It had nothing to do with love. It's known that parents throughout history arranged marriages through for the children. These arrangements were to benefit both sides. Most couples didn't marry because they were in love, but rather for economic liaisons. More often in these early times, the case was that men were thought to own their wives. The women in question had no say in anything. They were just meant for sex, babies, cooking, and cleaning. So yes, in this case, marriage is political slavery. One can get married for love. That's a beautiful thing when they do. Life is complicated, dear, just as the very people that live it. So, yes, I have been met with hardships in love and even in work partnerships in the last few decades. Nothing so bad that it couldn't be worked out. Though the key is to know yourself. When you know yourself, no one can get to you if you stay true. Yeah, that's true. I get your point now, really clearly. But certainly now, as for me, I don't think I can marry someone for such reasons you just mentioned. I can't get married to someone I don't love or feel for. I get your point now. Yeah, that's fact. Hope you didn't give up on love or good people. Do you have plans of being in a relationship again? He asks. I'm the kind that needs to know the whys and hows of things. I don't act in blind faith, not in this world. I have found that those who aren't ready or willing to question things get duped. On the flip side, those who are opposed to questions are 9 times out of 10 hiding something, aka scammers. I'm not at all jaded. Humans can be asshats regardless of gender, culture, religion, or melanin. For every bad person, there's a good one. Just a matter of finding them is all. Love how you see things, actually. Well, I don't think the word blind should go with faith. Because if I want to think like you for a second, faith might be blind from your edge since you use the word blind faith because faith is the sometimes of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I do get your point though, but from my own opinion, there is nothing like blind faith. Is either you don't have faith right from the start, because faith without work is dead. I'm trying to go with the Bible route. Well, I do love the fact that you do question things. I do too. I do have religious question that can't be answered. Well, as for me, I do tell people that I have nothing to hide or fear about. It's either I just don't want to let you know. That's all. Okay. I'm not even talking religion when I say blind faith. Having blind faith in people's works or deeds is what I'm saying. Trust is more often earned rather than freely given. A lie by omission is still a lie, yet there is something to be said for being mysterious. Plus, as the saying goes, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's my experience in my time on Earth that every human has a minimum of one thing they are afraid of. Fact, says Scammer Boy. One thing I believe in is that there is good in everyone, even in the bad person. You just made me remember your post about Nigeria scam stuff. Blah, blah, blah. This is how I know he is an African scammer when he goes off on this indignant tirade. I have a 22-year-old male friend from Nigeria, which is probably him. That kid changed my perspective about Nigerian. He gave me reasons to believe there's good in everyone. He told a lot how scammers operate. Most Americans don't love Africans, mainly Nigerian. Some say because they're black, others say because they're all scammers. Well, some are just racist. I don't know if you guys hate Africans over there too, do you? And let me tell you all right now, no, I do not hate Africans. I do not hate African Americans. I do not hate Africans who live in Africa. Do not hate Nigerians. I do not hate any of these people. It's scammers I hate. Absolutely hate. So if you are in Nigeria and you're a scammer, yes, I hate you. If you're in Nigeria and you're just a Nigerian living their life, no, I don't hate you. I have no reason to. So, fuck off with your fishing there, little scammer boy. Yeah, I understand. I get where all your points are coming from. Maybe you've had an encounter with wrong people. In essence, I think it is safe to say you have trust issues. Oh boy. But let me tell you how I built. In every military service, we can't carry out an operation without trust, nor do we live without trust. A job for one is a job for all. An injury for one is an injury to all. The best way to make people trustworthy is to trust them. That's poppycock. You may be deceived if you trust too much, but you will live in torment if you don't trust enough. This guy has no effing clue what in the Sam hell he is talking about. The scam hell, even. Do I have trust issues? No. When it comes to a scammer trying to tell me that they're not a scammer, yeah, maybe. But in general, no. I don't have any problem with how or who I choose to trust. I never said anything about Nigerian scams. I didn't assume where the scam is from. The amazing fact is that the first known scam was 300 BC by some Greek guy. White and BIPOC people of all kinds all over the world have scammed. I have no hate for West Africa or any parts of Africa for that matter. Even African Americans can be just as nice or bad as the next white guy. I don't care your race. It's the heart of a man or a woman that decides to do good or to do bad or to do good. I've lived in areas where I was the only white person, and that was fine by me. I don't believe in reverse racism. That's just bullshit entitled scared white people say. I don't subscribe to colonization or the God of the colonizers. I don't observe Thanksgiving or anything that was set up by colonizers. And it's true, I don't. And I really do feel 100%. Though I never partake in racism, if I don't like you, it has nothing to do with skin color. I do not believe in paying for the sins of my fathers, as I had no choice in what they did. I do think white people should, by rights, sit in their uncomfortableness when it comes to the rights of our BIPOC brothers and sisters. I agree. This is really how I feel, folks. I do think that we have to recognize and own up to the fact that we have white privilege no matter if we asked for it or not. Furthermore, I strongly think that we should use said privilege to actually help marginalized folks. That's me in a nutshell. Whether you believe me or not, folks, that's me. I'm not American, nor am I African, nor am I an African hater, I told him. Like I stated, I'm against colonization and hold nothing but disdain for colonizers and their entitled way of thinking. I don't have trust issues. I'm a realistic person is all. Do we believe the child with the cookie crumbs on the face that he didn't go to the cookie jar? No. We look at the evidence and proof. With all you have said, your points are being stated clear and understandable. I love our conversation so far. May what you believe and practice work for you. That was all in one day, folks. Now we go on to the next day. So far, it hasn't failed in response to the believing, my practicing, working, blah, blah, blah. And this is the way I have operated for a very long time. May you get the rest you need. Thank you, my friend, he says. I think I'm beginning to feel sleepy. Can I ask you something? Go for it. Do you support LGBT? Now, this is where there's going to be trigger warning about some really horrible things that he says. This is where things get sexual and bigoted. You won't like the answer, I told him. And the reason why I said that is because if he's going to be a military guy and he was trying to be a hard-nosed... No, I know not all military people have anything against LGBT, but it is relatively tricky and difficult for LGBT folk to be in the military without having issues. So that's why I said that. Also, the fact that as a West African in Africa, it is not okay to be anything under the Rainbow Mafia. Not even a little bit. So regardless of if he truly was a bigoted military man or a scammer in a bigoted country, he would not like my answer about LGBT. I don't think I'd have a problem with what you think or do, he says. I support all marginalized people. Again, this is truly how I believe. People of color, people with various different abilities, be they physical or mental, I support all under the rainbow of LGBTQIA2S as they are all valid. That being said, all people, no matter race, religion, or identity, can prove to be an issue. So yes, I support LGBTQIA2 spirit, 2S, people in general, but like with other marginalized groups, there can always be a bad, it's supposed to be a bad one or two, some or two, whatever. It's not bad to stand for what you believe. I'm the type can stand for anything, even if you whole world is against me. I do tell me I love what people hate. I don't like what people liking. Sorry, what did he say? I don't like people liking my stuff. Okay. So what made you think I might not like your answer? For the simple proven fact that 80% of those who are Christians are sadly also extremely bigoted. Through misinterpretation of the book they hold holy and dear. Of course, not all are this way. And the military is getting better at not discriminating against gay or transgender people. I won't apologize that you give off the vibe that I run into when it comes to LGBTQIA2 spirit. Though if you say I'm wrong, then I'm happy to know that. People are built different, both in thinking and otherwise. Me, not having an issue with LGBTQ, I don't think it has anything to do with the military. It's just the way I am. I know most of my colleagues who hate gays and all that, but I don't. I don't have an issue with them. I love lesbians. Of course you do. Most guys do love lesbians. I would love to watch the sex right in front of me one day. LOL. I have crazy sexual desires. LOL. So we went through a bit of the bigotry. Now we're going to get into the grossness of this scammer. As we age, so too can our tastes. Most men want to see lesbian sex because they fantasize about being able to get involved. Some even think that they are built in a way that will make the ladies want them to turn straight. Of course, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, I know, right? I want them to turn straight. I don't think it's in my power to do so, nor can I force them. But I would love to sex with bi or a trans or with a she-male. So sorry to all my trans siblings. I hated that he said that. I hope I don't scare you with my fantasies. Mostly, I would love to try anal sex. My wife hates it. Notice how she's not an ex anymore? Pro tip. They can turn straight as easily as you can have sex with men. Just saying. In regards to him turning a lesbian straight. You do know that she-male is an ugly word, and is ugly a word as a white person using the hard R in the N-word, right? Of course, he didn't know this, but I was getting quite PO'd with him. Maybe you might be bisexual then. Who knows? Talking about his fantasies. Nah, I don't like guys, he says. He wants to be with a bisexual, but he doesn't like guys. So he just wants to be, with a girl that's bisexual trying to change her way of thinking. And then he asked, what do I mean about the egregious way he spoke about trans women? And he laughed about me saying that he can turn a gay woman as straight as he could have sex with men. Then he says, what crazy sexual fantasy do you have? Would you like sharing it with me, if you don't mind? Now, I never would. I don't have any crazy fantasies, and even if I did, I wouldn't have shared it with him. However, if I had one and I shared it with him, he would have used that against me in order to get money. Yeah, well, die in the fact that women don't, or I think I didn't mean die. I think I meant, well, due to the fact that women don't have prostates, it's not typical for them to enjoy butt stuff. Some do. They are the exception. In response to his wife, who's now no longer his ex, not liking it. You know exactly what I mean about trans ladies. A transgender woman is a valid woman, no matter if they have had surgery. If you go around saying that word, which I'm no longer going to say, even though I did type it out, you may as well call your Nigerian friend the N-word, but use the hard R, just like slave owners did way back then. It is offensive no matter what. Consider yourself educated. I don't live in fantasy, nor do I sexualize others, I tell our scammer. Oh, thanks for the info. I guess no one is above learning after all, he says, very condescendingly. And he did not believe me about not having fantasies or sexualizing others, because he just said, oh, really? This is true. The day you stop learning is the day you find out that you're dead. Yep, he says. Learning is an everyday thing. Do you like masturbation? He goes into. Self-love isn't a crime unless you're doing it in inappropriate places or due to watching inappropriate materials. Yeah, true. He was really trying to get my goat. And he kind of did get it, but I wasn't going to let him know. And then we ended on August 28th when I said, to heck with you, and I reported him. So there you go. There is my really gross scammer who I'm going to delete. And here's some information that I have come up with in my research to help any of y'all about military and stolen valor. There are no United States forces deployed to Yemen, and there is no peacekeeping missions in Yemen. This was stated March 20th, 2024. United Nations peacekeeping missions are never deployed to active war zones. Peacekeepers are neutral, international troops who are sent to countries in turmoil to help reduce tension and restore peace. They play vital roles including monitoring, ceasefire, patrolling buffer zones, clearing landmines, investigating war crimes, and helping refugees and providing humanitarian aid. Again, This is in 2024, I'm getting this information. Peacekeepers protect civilians, actively prevent conflict, reduce violence, strengthen security, and empower national authorities to assure these responsibilities. This requires coherent security and peace-building strategies that supports the political strategy. Cell phones will be used for voice conversations only, so they can't do video calls. Receiving, sending, sharing, or viewing videos, pictures, text messages is strictly prohibited. While it varies depending on branch and specific assignments, as a general rule, service members can use their phones or internet services to communicate with family and friends during their downtime while deployed. Soldiers are prohibited from engaging in political activity on their personal social media while in the federal workplace or while on duty, including teleworking. Service members must also be careful to not comment, post, or link to materials that violates the UCMJ or service regulations. The military doesn't stop service members from using video chat. In fact, they encourage deployment soldiers to stay in contact with friends and family. Now, I know that contradicts the other thing I found, but it's something. So I'm wondering if that maybe it's dependent upon where you are. I don't know. Out of 195 countries in the world, 121 of them are peacekeeping countries. Soldiers are provided everything they need directly from the Army. This includes food, lodging, transportation, medical, laundry, haircuts, and the ability to communicate with loved ones. Remember, all active duty members are of the military are prohibited from soliciting money from other people. Scammers ask and beg for Steam cards, not soldiers. Scammers sell Steam cards on the internet and to their friends for 70% of their value. Quite often, gift cards are converted into Bitcoin, which they can use then to get their food or what have they. Or what have you, not what have they. This is a little hard to read. We'll zoom in a bit. The military do not have to pay have to pay to apply for leave. They do not have to pay a duration fee to take leave, to have someone else apply for leave for them, or pay a fee. They do not have to pay for their own food, which I already said. They don't have to pay for early retirement and deployment to end deployment early. And they do not have to get permission to pay a fee to get married. They do not have to register or pay to register a partner, fiance, or wife. They do not have to pay for their flight home after deployment. They do not have to pay for medical insurance or health costs. They do not need gift cards for internet access. If your new boyfriend can chat and message you, usually on Google Hangouts, because on that platform his location is hidden, then he can voice and video chat too. But he won't, because he does not want you to see or hear him. A U.S. general will not be on an internet dating site or correspond with you romantically, especially while deployed. He will not seek your permission or ask you to pay a fee so a soldier can take leave. He will not need your financial support for his transportation. A U.S. general has powers almost like God and has transport planes at his immediate disposal. It is a serious breach of the Uniform Code of Military Justice for any U.S. military person to ask a civilian for money. All U.S. servicemen are paid twice a month On the 15th and the 30th, like clockwork, they all have access to their online banking, and if there is ever a banking problem, the U.S. military will fix it for them. The U.S. military are not engaged with peacekeeping military missions in Yemen, Syria, Afghanistan, Ukraine, Iraq, Libya, various shithole Middle Eastern and African countries. I have no idea who posted this, but yeah. I don't even remember where I got it, but it says it's from the Department of Defense. I don't know. But the point is, you can guarantee that unless you actually know this military person that's in your DMs, they're a scammer if they say any of these things. I hope that helps. If you made it through this whole video, I'm fully apologize for how gross it did get, but I kind of feel that y'all needed to know just how disgusting scammers are. It's they get this disgusting. They will get this way with you. It's disgusting that they use military. It's disgusting that they everything is disgusting. Anyway, I hope you got some good information about scammers like this, and I wish you all safety and love. We'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.